Hope all is well. I just wanted to share with you some things to do with the permanent diaconate. I know it came up at the Deanery Conference recently, and I had the opportunity at our conference to say a few things, so I thought maybe I could just share a few thoughts with you to try and help you. If somebody's coming to you and saying, I'm thinking about being a permanent deacon, or for you in a parish to be understanding that this is an opportunity for us in the diocese now, and there are people coming forward applying for the permanent diaconate, and what will happen. As well as myself, Deacon Stephen Scott, who is a deacon from Lancaster Diocese who now lives in our diocese, he is the assistant director for the permanent diaconate. I think that's really important. We've got deacons going to be working with deacons, and there are a group of people who are going to be helping, including, Paul Daly is overseeing everything as Episcopal Vicar, Michael Dees and John Bordley, they are going to be academic tutors for the programme. John Kersley and Kevin Murphy are going to be pastoral support, and Kevin hopefully is going to be liaising with all of you, because it's very important for all of you to be on board if this is going to work well in the diocese. And we also have Rachel from Communications, who is making sure that people understand what the permanent diaconate is, and who can apply and how it can help our diocese. Gerard Byrne is helping with St Luke's and with the applications for that. David Featherstone is helping by meeting with potential candidates to help in the discernment process. And we also have support from the formation department admin. I'm very grateful to Mike and Helen, who are going to help with the processing of applications. So we're putting a system in place at the moment, and at the Deanery Conference it will have been hopefully been shared with you, this system. Now, we'd love you to look at that and share your thoughts on it, to see if is there something that we've missed out, is there something that we can be doing differently. So if somebody comes to you and says, I feel called to be a permanent deacon, it's important that they are involved in the life of the parish, that they are known by the parishioners, that they are known by you. So if somebody comes to you and says, I'm thinking about being a permanent deacon, who you know they're in the parish, but they're not involved in anything, then the first step is to say, well, actually, I know what they'll say if you go forward at the moment. They'll say, you need to have some experience in the parish. So please, can you be thinking of different ways that people can be involved? That can be as a welcomer, reader, Eucharistic minister, with the outreach, all different ways. But it is important that people are known, and also ordinarily, as the norm, that they are recommended by yourselves, that they are somebody who would be a good example and live out the vocation of the permanent diaconate within a parish. And it is a vocation. It's not a reward for long service instead of a benemerente or anything like that. So if somebody comes to you, I think if you can, with all the commitments you got, make time to sit down with them, listen to them, help them. They'll want to talk about the story. And then the journey is that they contact, there is an email for the permanent diaconate, or they contact me, or they contact Deacon Stephen, and he will be the first port of call. As well as the system, we also have a frequently asked questions sheet that will be available. It will be on the website, and hopefully you'll be able to point them to that and say, well, just have a look through these. Yeah. So who can apply? Who's in a position to be a permanent deacon, and some of the questions to do with different things that are often asked to help them on the journey. So if somebody then would contact Stephen or myself, and then we would say, well, if they're showing promise, to meet with David Featherstone, so that he can have a chat with them. One of the things we need to work out is, have they are they known by the parish, and also where are they at an academic level. We don't want that to be oppressive, but so that they're not struggling, they'll need to be at a certain academic level. And Michael Dees and John Broadley are working on that, so we can be clear about that. And also then, well, how could we help someone if they are called to diaconate but need some catch up? I remember years ago it used to be Osterley that used to help the lads if they hadn't been studying, hadn't had their heads in the books for a time. So then there will be a time of discernment, and when they apply, they fill in, there's the forms to fill in, and they have to do a medical form and a DBS, of course, and financial form and other things like that. Interviews are going to be around March time, and then there will be a panel and then an interview with the bishop. Ultimately, it is, of course, the decision of the bishop whether somebody goes forward or not, with the help and recommendation of people who have been meeting with them along the way to try and support them. If somebody is accepted for the permanent diaconate, then they will be part of the Northern Diaconate Formation Programme. That's the Northern Diocese. And they have overnight theology sessions and prayer times at Hinsley Hall. There's a number of them through the year. For somebody to be a permanent deacon, they need to be at least 35 by the time they will be ordained, and not over 60 by the time they're ordained. So that's one of the frequently asked questions, just to make sure on that. So it's a 4-year course, 1 year propedeutic, and then 3 years. Ordinarily, they would receive candidacy after the first year. So they will be part of that programme for academics and study, and also linked with Liverpool and Wrexham for pastoral sessions and consideration and reflection. The sessions are in Maghull, and they take place on a Saturday as well. So we have to bear in mind, I have to remember and bear in mind that many of these people coming forward will be married and have family and have work commitments. What's different for me is for the permanent deacons, it is their family and then their work and then the ministry. So that's different to my experience and understanding of what it means to be in a parish. So we need to bear that in mind when we're looking at where they're available for training and things. So they will have supporters that go along. There will also be spiritual support as well, and Jenny Bond, who has worked at St Bino's, will be a part of the team and making sure that they have a spiritual director and creating opportunities for days of recollection and suggesting retreats, signposting, so that they have that element to the journey as well. And there will be reviews, as there will be for all of us in seminary as the time goes on. And if there are particular issues, well, we want to make sure we pick them up as soon as possible to help them and to make sure that the right people are ordained. So that's a journey as it will be. At the moment, we have one person in training for the permanent diaconate. And we, at the moment, potentially have 6 or 7 applying to start this time next year. So we also have the 4 permanent deacons who were ordained just over a year ago, plus some deacons from other dioceses. We have a deacon who from the Ordinariate, and there are Stephen from Lancaster Diocese and a permanent deacon from Middlesbrough Diocese who's just joining us. So this is growing at the moment, and I see it as one piece in the jigsaw for the diocese in the time ahead. For those who are now permanent deacons, Paul Smith is going to be looking after them, which I think is great, because we need to look at how are the permanent deacons going to operate in a parish. You know, the 3 areas are altar, word, altar, and caritas. So in the preaching, in helping, in the liturgy, and also in the outreach. So we need to look at the relationships and support the priests and the deacons and help the parishes understand what it means to have a deacon. For many, it's completely new. And so it's going to rely a lot on the experience that they have of the permanent deacons, and as the deacons come through, to be able for people to see what that means, and that will help others reflect on whether they're called forward as well. There's much more, but I just wanted to start so that you could say, okay, look, Chris is trying to help. I got the call out the blue. I was happily just on with the parish. I'll do my best. I know lots of you are doing lots of other diocesan things as well. But if you need to know any more, if you've got any thoughts or suggestions, let us know, because we are on this journey together. So as the Bishop would say, stay with us, Lord, on our journey. All the best. Cheers.